Good morning, it's Norma Cowie, and I'm here for a Sunday thought on this well, actually, no, it's not quite the last day of March because it has 31 days. I'm looking at the 30th, so we've got one more day to go in March. March always seems to be a longish month, maybe because of where it's situated, but whatever, here we are. I wanted to talk about faith today. What do you have faith in? Do you have faith in yourself? Do you have faith in a higher power? Do you have a particular deity or a belief or an attitude where you have faith? For myself, I have gone in many different directions around faith for over the years until I came to recognize that how important it was to have faith in yourself, but also not only yourself, but some power that lives out there, some higher power, whatever you call it, because there's so many different paths. I was lucky. I was thinking this morning, actually, I was 21 when I started learning how to read tarot cards. And they gave me a path to follow because was taught to read for myself every day pretty well. I would see what was going on. I learned more about the bigger picture of me. So what began to happen is I began to have more faith in not only in myself, I should say, but also in how things work. Now, whether you believe that it's God or any other name that you have, there is definitely an energy out there. I ran into it through taking courses. And I knew when I hit this love force, which at the time seemed to be above my head, actually quite a bit above my head, I knew it had to be inside me. So I worked to bring it down, and I've worked ever since with that to trustingly bring me compassion, understanding, and I certainly have a faith in it, which is why on Monday nights when we do mental mind treatments, you'll hear me do the alternative prayer, which mental mind treatments are. Some people call them spiritual mind treatments. It's basically the same, but it affects how you think within your mind to give you a different perspective. I often wonder how people live without faith. I mean, we get challenged. We challenge ourselves in our lives, as if you've been following me at all, you know that I've had the last couple of years, lots going on with my health, and trustingly that journey is, coming up and easier, but it's like having the faith to keep on going, to keep on doing what you've got to do, even if you don't want to do it and all the different things. But life is like that. I mean, as a child, I was bit traumatized as a child, actually, and I was high strung. And then I met a Canadian and came to Canada at the tender age of 18 and had babies and had to work. And while my husband went through university, he also worked. We pulled together and had faith in each other for many, 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 many years. And then, of course, things went different. But at the same point, it's a matter of what do you have faith in? Having faith in life. Now, I was raised in New Zealand, which was very much she'll be right, Jack attitude. No matter what went on, it'll be okay. It'll work out. So that was ingrained to me as a child all around. It was people dealt with their issues, dealt with their problems, and she'll be right, Jack. Kind of was the attitude. So I had that as well, not knowing exactly what that was or how it was, but I always had a feeling that everything would work out. But what I've discovered, especially as a year as a card reader, is that not everybody believes that. Not everybody has that. It's almost like they live waiting for the next disaster to happen. I'm always surprised when it happens. It's like, what? What's that? What am I supposed to be getting out of this? What am I coming to understand? And sometimes I found things occurred to me so that I could understand my clients better. That there was no judgment there. Sometimes a little bit of a judgment, like, what? Oh, come on. Like, what are you doing with that? But always having compassion and understanding as to what was happening, what was going on, what was working. So it's a matter sometimes to look at what actually do we have faith in. Do we have faith in ourselves? Do we have faith in other people? And if it's what other people? People that are close, people that are family, people that are, sometimes people who talk on the, I was going to say television, but on the screens, nowadays there's so many places that you can watch or see things. And then we find out, oops, they're not been telling the truth anyway. They're like, who do we trust? Sometimes we just have to trust our gut. What is it that's really going on, or what's happening? And what do we want for ourselves? I find inner peace is really, really important. And sometimes when I get upset about things that happen, and because life happens, and sometimes I'm upset about it, when it touches me, or people pass on into, and people who I care about sometimes, and it's like they're sick for a long time or whatever, it touches your heart. And it's a matter of having faith that everything is always in its right place. We are so judgmental as people so often. We think it needs to be this way or that way, or I don't know, some way, any way that it is. But we don't always activate a faith to be able to work to create a difference. And that's why I find the mental mind treatment so helpful over the years. Because if nothing else, I could sit down and do a prayer. And the prayer was one for myself, really, because it's getting my head straight as to what can be affected and what is there. And sometimes I got lazy and didn't do that. And sometimes things would build up more. And then I would sort of have to give myself a little like, hey, remember what you know. Remember what's real. And so therefore, that will make a big, big difference. So it's time sometimes to, well, I was just going to say, I kind of babbled my words there a little bit. Sometimes it's just time to sit down and to take a look at what really do you have faith in? What is important to you? And how do you live and or activate that? How does that work in an effective way? How does it become and you can enjoy or to be? We have faith that the sun will rise the next morning. Somehow that happens. No matter what time you go to bed, the sun will come up. Or if it's not sun, light, we'll say light, because it's not always sunny. Remember, there's a TV show, It's Sunny in Philadelphia. I've never watched it, but I love the title. And because, yeah, like what is life? And sometimes in our winter months, when especially living where we are is in the north, we don't get a lot of sun. We get a lot of cloud and rain and even snow. So it's like, can we have a sunshine barometer within ourselves? Do we have faith in it? Do we see things coming out the way that we want them to come out? Very often I find people get discouraged because they have no faith. They just, if whatever happens, that's it, Whereas I've learned that whatever happens is a sign, maybe we could say, of where things are heading or where they're going or where you're meeting me. Where I should claim that, where I'm not seeing a bigger picture, or I'm not executing within my life my own faith line, my own faith belief as how things are and where they're heading. So today I thought, especially after what happened to me on Wednesday, I'll just give you a quick rundown because my Wednesday talk, which was to answer a question that one of my people that listen had asked me. So I laid it out, and had a lot of talk about, because it was like, why do we fail? And I was talking about it, all the work that I do to clear patterns, which means that would create that people will fail whether they like to or not. And I noticed across the screen, and it has happened before, that the picture was a little bit unstable. I didn't realize, but I had two of my great followers on the chat line telling me it froze. I was very upset about this because I had done this great ending to obviously nobody because it never got recorded. I had it all sorted out, figured out, and so eventually I got over my upsetness. I had a day where I was really upset because I really wanted people to understand all these different components that can be in effect. Not all of them at once, but that make it that we don't create what we want to create, or etc. And so my nice ending never ever got said. So eventually, the next day, after a day of moping and feeling sorry for myself, well, not overly sorry for myself, but you know what I mean, I was upset. And I watched it. And here I am, talking away, just like I am now. And the next thing, this man is there, talking a whole lot of other stuff. I went, what? Couldn't find, if people had made a comment, couldn't find any of mine. Loads about the other man who was talking about, I think, something about space and ETs or something. I was just still very upset. So anyway, to make a long story short, this morning before I came on air, I went and checked, and there were a couple of comments from my talk on. But yes, it did stop. And my two dear friends who said, you froze. And yes, I did. I not only froze, I was joined somehow or other. Our streams, it got joined. I don't know if that still exists that way, because when I went to look at it, as I said, the day after, it flowed into this other man's talk, and there were all this list of comments, which I didn't even bother looking. Weren't my comments. Today I had 2 comments, so that was good. Anyway, so I will at some point sort of go over that again, because when I look at that, it's a lot to take in, all these different systems that I've learned about and clear for people. So I want you to look at, do you have faith in yourself? Do you believe in yourself? That's another word you could use. Do you believe in yourself? Can you create what you want to create? Are you happy? Do you have faith in higher power? Do you ask for what you want from another power, another energy? All these things are important to what you want to establish or to do. So that's my thought for today. Do you have faith? And if you do, what's it in? What is it? As you know, in my talks, I talk about the love force, because I ran into that many, many years ago, and I know it's there. And I know, like, some people have faith in the earth mother. Well, I talk to the earth mother every now and again, find out what's going on. I talk to different aspects of my life. I had a good friend of mine phone me yesterday talking about some of the things that she's going through. And I realized that, I studied astrology for 3 years and hardly remember a thing. That's why I quit astrology and really went into the tarot, because I understood that. And why that is not that I put down astrology, because my daughter was an astrologer and my ex-husband was an astrologer, both different kinds. That made family meetings interesting sometimes. But it was like, I'm not totally super mental, like in the sense I was an intuitive, and tarot suited me so much better because of that. I was an intuitive and wanted philosophy. I wanted to feel connected, i.e. have faith. And so I'm going to wrap that up. But I also want to say thank you, Karen. She says, good Sunday morning, Norma. And I say thank you. And Yvonne, I have faith and wonderful joy of sharing good life with people like you. Bless your heart. That came out strange. No, it doesn't. All is well. Thank you so much for your support. It's appreciated, especially at this point in time when I'm reevaluating a few things. Nothing to say about that yet, but just reevaluating and picking out what's the next steps? What do I want to do? I think I know, but I'm not 100%. Also, I have to pick my special for the month, which will be in the middle of April somewhere on a Saturday. Not sure which way to go with something. We'll see. It'll come out anyway. Oh, Karen has another message here. Have faith in humanity and know that the universe and love force has our backs. Totally does. Thank you, Norma. Yes, it does. Well, I'm going to say bye for now. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, with mental mind treatments. If you have an issue, please join us. We'd love to see you there. You enjoy this Sunday and enjoy life. Blessings to everybody. Bye now.